Okay, cousin, it's the book we're reading right now, Discovering the Power Within by Eric Butterworth. Now, this book I have had for a long time, but let me tell you, it never gets old. But listen to this. The more we understand the concept of Yahshua, the book says Jesus, but I'm going to say Yahshua because they're two separate entities, okay? So that's what I'm going to say. The more we understand the concept of Yahshua, the more we realize that the only time we can truly say, that is just the way I am, is when we're referring to the divinity within us. You have a great potentiality, a divine self within you that needs to be released. This is what Yahshua really taught. Many people refer to heaven as upstairs. God is even said to be the man upstairs. I can remember as a child saying, cross my heart and point to heaven. There was no question about it. It was right up there, and God was up there too. When I looked up there, as we talked about God, we prayed to God, I looked up there. In a very real sense, heaven is upstairs, but it is the upper level of man's total consciousness. Perhaps it would help to think of your life as a great house. Yahshua used the illustration, in my Father's house are many mansions. In other words, there are many levels at which we can experience life. There are many numerous levels and many numerous floors, and there is a basement. It may be said that most people live much of their lives in the basement of existence, unaware that there are rooms upstairs for happy and successful living. No matter where a man may be or on what level he may be expressing, the kingdom of God is within him. He may be living out of his life in the basement or even in the sub-basement. He may be sick in his mind or his body. He may be deprived or depraved. But there are still upper floors in the house of his life, even if he has no idea of where they are. His sin is simply the frustration of his potentiality. Side note, in this book, he says the greatest sin is not knowing your divinity. That is the greatest sin. That was a bar. That's a bar. Okay, so let's get back to this. He is living in hell. A man that does not know his own divinity is living in hell already. So some people think that they're going to hell, whole time they're already living in hell. I love that. Okay. Interestingly, the word Hades, which is translated as hell, literally means not to see. The man in the basement is not able to see the fullness of his life. There is God in him. Bergson agrees with this when he says that an intelligent being carries within him the means to surpass himself. The word heaven comes from the Greek word erroneous. The kingdom of heaven then is the principle of expansion. Life is a limitless experience in an expanding universe. The very nature of life is growth. This is why Yahshua, in trying to explain the kingdom of heaven, uses such illustrations as the sower going forth to sow, the mustard seed, the little leaven that leaveth the whole lump. A strange lot of illustrations if he is talking about some place in the skies to which we go in the future in time. Life is growth and unfoldment, and life is lived from inside out. How few people really know this. The average person lives his life from outside in. He frustrates his potential when he lets his level of consciousness be determined by what people say, what conditions appear to be, what he reads in the newspaper, and on and on and on. Then he is caught up in the dilemma of whether to conform to the world around him or spend his time resisting it. Yahshua came declaring, ye know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. It really doesn't matter what happens around you or to you. These things are in the world, and you can overcome the world. All that really matters is what happens in you, your thoughts about your conditions, and the people around you. And you can control your thoughts, for you are the master of your mind, or you can be. There is a belief deeply rooted in the collective consciousness of the race that you can't teach an old dog new tricks, you can't change human nature, and etc. Reject this for the great lie that it is. When you catch Yahshua's concept of divinity of men, you see that you can only change human nature. That's all you can do. But this is the whole object of the Christian teaching. As Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up. And you are that Son of Man, and you can transcend your basement experience and come to live in the upper rooms of life. Yahshua's message of the kingdom is the message of wholeness. We are forever seeing only part of life and concluding that the part that it is whole. This is the great problem of formulating religious views. Shelley says that religion is the perception of the relation in which man stands to the universe. But that perception is an individual experience. Someone communicates his perception to another, and we are on our way towards the creation of dogma. In time, whole bodies of people accept a perception that is given to them secondhand. They might even insist that there is no individual perception or think of such an inner awareness or first-hand experience as work of evil or the devil. Yahshua recognized that the greatest foe of the great idea of the kingdom of heaven as an inner potential in a man was Pharisaism. He was merciless when he called out the Pharisees. He said, "Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites, because you shut the kingdom of heaven against men." Today, Pharisaism is the greatest obstacle in man and in the world to the full realization of the truth. To many people, religion is synonymous with a church service, a spectacle to witness, a ritual to employ, a prayer book to use once a week. Religion is a badge of conventional respectability. Belonging to the right kind of church or religion is often more important than being the right kind of person.